Well, hello, General Hospital Daily Recap fans. Today's daily recap is for Monday, March the 27th, 2023. Monday, March the 27th. Today's episode was a little bittersweet for Victor. Oh, he finds some coordinates. And Eileen is steadily asking. Actually, she wanted to leave, but he was like, "Don't you want to see? Don't you want to see what this brings?" And so, or what this is all about. So she's like, "Well, okay, right." So she's asking, "Well, what do you want to do? What is this for?" "Oh, to bring world peace." But then he goes, "It'll secure my family and its, lineage, but unfortunately, there'll be a lot of other casualties. Sacrifices have to be made, but I'll make provisions for you." She's like, "Oh, okay, right." Needless to say, he writes down the coordinates that he sees. He puts the coordinates in his computer, and it's deep, 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 and gives him some kind of reading. And he goes, "This can't be right." He goes, "You gave me, this has the wrong code." She goes, "How am I supposed to even know what you're looking for? I thought you wanted the necklace," because after he wrote the codes down, he goes, "Here, you could take it." She goes, "What would I do with this? You said it's worth millions." "I couldn't even explain how I have it. I don't want it." He goes, "I don't need it. I got what I wanted. I wanted the codes on it." And so she goes, he goes, "Put it back in the evidence locker for all I care." And she's like, well, right. And that's when he goes, "Look, you want to see, what this does?" And so, needless to say, he's pissed. He knows the coordinates were fake. And he goes, "Is Laura onto you?" She goes, "How could Laura have been onto me? I bribed one of the officers to let me in, to the evidence locker. There was no time to warn anyone. He immediately let me in. I got the necklace and I left. So, no one was alerted." So she goes, "How do you know your brother put the right code, the coordinates on there?" And he goes, "That could have been possible. Because Nikos, he was the oldest brother. He was the leader. He never trusted none of them. As a matter of fact, he made sure there was no trace of a lot of things." He goes, "That's just like him. He would make sure he went to the grave with these coordinates other than sharing them with me or their other brother." So he says it's possible because he knows it. He knows doggone well Nikos is crazy. Right. So anyway, he's just like, oh, pissed off. And so Eileen is just looking, and we got Valentine and Anna worrying because it's taking her too long, you know, to get back. And Eileen is trying to get that flash drive because she feels something else is on that flash drive is on the floor. And so when Anna finally calls her, and she goes to the mayor's office because she kept telling him, "I need to get back to work. I have a job." They're wondering, where am I, right? And so she says, "I told you I would be late coming back to work. I'm at an appointment. I will be there later. I can't leave now." And Anna's like, "Eileen, get out of there now." And so, you know, Eileen hangs up, and Valentine's like, What now?" She goes, "She's going to blow the whole operation." They don't know. They don't know what's going on or what's going to happen. So we have Spencer arriving to pick up Trina. Remember, Marshall was mean mugging, mean dogging. And yeah, we see they end up kissing before they leave. But Marshall tells Trina he needs to talk to Spencer alone. He goes, "Didn't you need to download some pictures or something?" So she goes, "Yeah, but we're late. We need to go." He goes, "No, go on and take care of the pictures. Do what you need to do. I want to talk to him." So Marshall, of course, got this gruffness trying to scare Spencer, and Spencer's like, "Go ahead, Trina, I'll be fine." Marcia doesn't scare Spencer. Actually, the only people scared Spencer were the jail folks scared Spencer, right? The inmates. Speaking of which, I miss his Uncle Silas. I really do. I liked him. Or Cyrus Renault. So anyway, he pretty much wants to give Spencer the hard degree, but he says, look, Trina tells me what you're trying to do for your baby brother. And I really respect that. You're stepping up, and yes, you have, made some good strides stepping up for Trina. He goes, but you have to want to step up for yourself. And Spencer says, I'm trying to be a better man. I'm trying to be responsible. And so Marshall's like, well, you know what? Keep it up. You can, because he respects what Spencer's doing. And Spencer was shocked. He goes, I just really was not expecting to hear that. He says, things were fine when you and Trina were friends, but see, what I'm hearing, you guys are more than friends. And that could be a problem. He's like, because you got a lot of things going on in your life, Cassadine. And Trina don't need to get messed up into, because she's got enough on her plate right now. And Spencer's like, I know, I'm looking out for Trina. I'm trying to make sure that Trina is okay. So anyway, Trina comes out. She goes, I've got the pictures. And she goes, well, we better go. And so Marshall says goodbye, but then they're talking. She goes, and she says, whatever, because Spencer said something to her. She goes, are you okay? He goes, yeah. He actually gave me some good advice, about me. And so she goes, whatever you said to Spencer, thanks. Right? And so they were going to head out the door. But then, no. She didn't say that then. She and Spencer are talking after Marshall left. Then they start kissing, and Marshall comes back and he clears his throat. Right. So they stop kissing. And then he goes, those decorations aren't going to put themselves up. Right. And so Spencer goes, right, let's go, Trina. So he heads for the door. And that's when Trina went over to Marshall and said that, whatever you said to Spencer, thanks. So then they go to the party. They finally head there. Jocelyn goes to the party. Oh, and you know what was so? For two people that are supposed to act like they don't know each other, Maxie talks to Jocelyn, trying to get her to sing at the nurses' ball. Then Dex walks up, and immediately Jocelyn's looking past Maxie with this silly little schoolgirl grin on her face. And Maxie looks at her, and then Maxie looks, and Dex has got this silly little high school boy look on his face, right? And Maxie's like, Joss, who's your friend? And she goes, oh, this is Dex. He works for Sunny. So Maxie goes, oh. She's looking at him. And of course, now she's pitching for him to do something at the nurses' ball. And she goes, Jocelyn's going to be in it. She's going to sing. And Jocelyn's like, I didn't say I was going. He goes, I didn't know you knew how to sing. She goes, I didn't say I'm going to sing this year. She says, but yeah, you're going to sing. So Maxie says, I'm going to go in and I'm going to get me some coffee. Don't you guys go anywhere because I've got something else to say to you. So then they're talking, and it's like, so much for acting like we don't know each other. And I'm thinking, look at the way you guys are looking at each other. You're dead giveaways. Dead giveaways, ridiculously dead. Sonny better know, because this is ridiculous if he doesn't know, right? So Maxie comes back, and that's what she says. Look, Dex, I hope I can count on you. And Jocelyn, I'll be in touch, and Maxie leaves. But I just wanted to get a picture of the two doofuses looking at each other like they are just sliced bread. So we have Elizabeth. She's writing a goodbye card to Cameron. Laura shows up early. And she goes, Elizabeth, honey, I know now may not be a perfect time, but I want to talk to you about Nicholas. And of course, Elizabeth plays the poor, I made a bad decision and I know you may never forgive me. And if I could, she goes, Elizabeth, honey, I thought about it when this happened. You had just come back from visiting your parents. You were in a bad way and Nicholas took advantage of you. She goes, yes, but I should have been strong. And and something about consequences. And Laura says, you probably feel you weren't punished enough. And she goes, well, I wasn't. And oh, yes, I do. I feel like, I got off so lightly. And she goes, Elizabeth, honey, you went, you told the truth. You came forward to the police. And that is what the decisions, you didn't make the decisions that were made. They didn't press charges, and you didn't make the decisions the hospital board made about letting you keep your job. So the years of your hard work, because she is a hardworking nurse, it's like Elizabeth don't ever go home, right? And so she says it paid off for you. And so she's like, yeah, but it's hard letting Cameron go. It's hard letting go because, I still want him here to look after him. And blah. And I'm thinking, Elizabeth, you ain't looked after Cameron in years. You ain't even looking after Jake and Aiden. Cameron was raising his younger brother. You were so busy helping people cover up crimes, and worrying about them than taking care of your own kids. So don't even pretend I still need to look after Cameron. Cameron looked after you most of the years. He needs a break. He needs to go and finally do Cameron, right? Let Cameron finally get to do Cameron. So we have Cameron. Remember, he went to Laura's house. And they're not even going to have Jake and Aiden. Oh, let's get back to Cameron's party. Jake and Aiden aren't going to be at the party. Elizabeth's like, Jake put up most of the decorations and Aiden made the cake. And I thought, this is a going away party for their brother. General Hospital. You could not have afforded to hire the reoccurring actors that play Jake and Aiden for a day? Come on now. They could have hired Jake and Aiden to send their brother off. Anyway. So Cameron, remember, he's over knocking on the door. He was going to see Spencer, and where he saw Esme leaving. And he asked her, where you going? And she's like, I don't have to answer to you. I don't even know you, right? And he goes, you're living in my grandmother's house. And so she goes, you must be Cameron Weber. Yet someone else I've done something to. And he goes, and like I said, where are you going? So she turns around and walks back in the house, and Cameron walks in, and they're talking. And he goes, where's Spencer? Or my grandmother? They're not here. He goes, oh, they're not here, so you decided to leave. Where were you going? I was going to go and take Ace for a walk. He goes, it's a little cold out there to be walking a baby around. No, you were taking off, weren't you? And she's looking. She goes, no. And he goes, the old Esme is a much better liar than you. Where would you go? And so she's like, I just don't believe, Spencer's trying to take my baby from me, and most people are team Spencer, and I'm not going to let anybody take my baby from me. And Cameron is like, I do know you're in this house with support to help take care of your baby, and they're letting you stay here too, So he goes, it looks like you got it pretty good. And so she goes, yeah, but, I've done such horrible things, and nobody, what if I never get my memory back? I'll never this, that, and the other. And Cameron made a mistake, though. Cameron told her flat out that he was also responsible for her. She goes, I bet you're upset that I'm not in jail still, prison still. He goes, no, I'm partly the reason you got off too. She goes, what do you mean? He goes, yeah, we got you off because for one, the baby doesn't need to be raised there. For two, when you do get your memories back, they'll see, and then the police can prosecute you. And I thought, Cameron, why would you tell her that? Because even if she does have her memory loss, now she knows, when I get it back, don't tell anybody, because now I can get prosecuted. Oh my goodness, Cameron. And so he was telling her, if you want redemption, and she goes, people will never forgive me, or they'll always see me one way. He goes, no, they won't. I know a guy who made terrible mistakes. Terrible mistakes. He hurt a lot of people. And And he came back to Port Charles. Everybody hated him. But he changed his life. And he took the time and he changed his life. And people ended up forgiving him. And so she goes, "Are you talking about you?" He's like, "No, I'm not. I'm talking about your brother, Franco. He was your brother." So she goes, "Was?" And he goes, "Yeah, he died." And I think he said, and he was their stepfather. But Franco did the time to change his life, and people in time forgave him. They didn't see him as the evil monster anymore. And so she goes, "Great. The one person that could understand me is, if my family is dead, right?" And so he goes, "I would tell you about him. I could tell you a little more about him before I leave." She's like, "Leave? Where are you going?" He goes, "Oh, I just got accepted into Stanford in college. I'm going away. I'm leaving. I think he's leaving tomorrow." So she goes, "Of course. One person I do kind of like is leaving, of course." So anyway, he's like, "You gonna be okay here?" And she said, "Yeah, I'll be okay here, right? She's gonna be fine." And next thing we know, Spencer's walking into the door of his party holding a baby seat, and Esme's hipping the baby, you know, and cute little Ace. When Esme and Ace completely walk through the door, because everybody's looking like, "Huh? Her? Huh?" And Cameron's walking in like, "Yep, yeah, everybody is her. I'm bringing her." And then the little baby, when the camera panned to a close up on Esme and the baby, the little baby looked in like, "Cuteness is in the house. Hey, everybody. Cuteness is in the house." He just, oh my God, he's so cute. I really want to see Willow's baby again. Because this one is getting way more airtime, these twins, and that cute goodness is just rubbing off on me. I said, "Look at him, two cheeks." So anyway, we shall see tomorrow what happens with that. Um, Bottom line, Laura's gonna it's Cameron's party, and if Cameron says it's okay for her to come, everybody else will fall in line, realistically, right? So anyway, that's what happened. Let's go to comment corner. NK Rose says, "I completely forgot about Franco. I don't know why I thought Cameron was telling Esme about Jason, LOL." Lucy says, "Has anyone noticed Spencer's physique? He looks hunky buff. Those arms." Yeah, he is bulking up. Remember, Spencer was thin when he first came, and even when he went to jail, he was thin. They threw him around like a little ragamuffin. But anyway, Spencer Chavez is bulking up. Annette says, "Where's Laura's common sense? Do a DNA test knowing whom you're dealing with." I know, I'm surprised it hasn't been done. Coretta says, "Wasn't her trust fund set up by her adoptive family?" I guess it was. I mean, I may have missed that part on who actually set up the trust fund. P. Merle says, "Yeah, where is Esme going? She's faking her memory loss big time. She's leaving with nothing for her baby, for her or the baby, except a diaper bag and a little over $100. No one is that naive, are they?" And Anariana says, "Great recap." And Michael says, "Esme is not trustworthy. She's going to run with that baby. I like Marshall and Trina's relationship. Why would Selena be so bold to make a move against Sonny? This don't and has never made any sense unless she is trying to take him out. He was ambushed recently. Great recap." And Kamala says, I particularly appreciate how GH and Laura I don't particularly appreciate how GH and Laura treat Esme with soft gloves as to why she should stay with her baby. I believe they are creating a scenario that leads to empathy for her, especially by on the ordeal she went through being imprisoned by Nicholas. She was still kept like a little princess up in that castle. Though Nicholas' plans to keep Esme captive were wrong, his reasonings was apparent. He wanted to protect his unborn baby from a lunatic at all costs. I hope when Nicholas comes back into the picture, GH and Laura will give him the same equal treatment and benefit of the doubt as they were giving to Esme. What Esme did was worse than what Elizabeth and Nicholas did. At least Elizabeth and Nicholas were helping keep Esme's unborn child safe from prison. Kim says, hi there. How are you doing? I hope you're feeling better. I am feeling better. It's still a little cloggy, especially at night. It's starting up. I noticed Esme's starting to get her memory back. Esme almost saw Spencer kissing Trina. Who knows what would have happened if she saw Trina kissing Spencer? I know, would that flash her back with her memories? Laura shouldn't trust Esme. I think Esme is really acting her memory loss. I heard a rumor that Jason is coming back. I hope so, because Sonny needs Jason. Carly needs Jason. I also heard another rumor that Selena is going to have Sonny killed or put in jail. Yeah, I don't think either will happen. I'm going to miss Cameron very, very much when he leaves. The nurses' ball is April 1st at 3 p.m. I can't wait. Still hate Dex. I also can't stand Joss because she's too stuck up and a know-it-all. Carly should have disciplined her better. And then Camilla, I hope you feel better. Great recap for last week. I only have one main point. Review for the previous week's episode. Valentine, Anna, Felicia, Laura, Lucy, Scorpio, Robert Scorpio, Eileen, and Drew want Victor to pay for his crimes. I still hope General Hospital doesn't get rid of Victor Cassadine. Victor is the only first generation still alive in the middle of his brother, late Nikos, the oldest, and Tony Cassadine, the youngest. I was going through the history charts, and they also have a sister named Sophia. I didn't know that. Sophia was never portrayed on General Hospital, but only mentioned as the sister of Mikos, Victor, and Tony. They are all Ivan Cassadine's children, and maybe there might be a possibility that GH might bring Sophia, since the Cassadine is one of the leading families of General Hospital. Of all the Cassadines, Stefan, Nicholas, Spencer are my favorites. And I hate it when General Hospital ruined and butchered Stefan and Nicholas's characters during and after the Nicholas and Emily saga. Again, feel better. God bless. Yeah, I actually liked Stefan too. And I liked Tyler Christopher before they really made him go downhill, Linda says, I think Eileen will be killed by Victor's goons. Sherry says, Esme always says she can't get her trust fund the whole time she was with Spencer. She got a tiny stipend. I think she got like $1,000 a week, some little bit, where Spencer's had access to way more cash. Eduardo says, I can't see it. General Hospital staff, I can see it. General Hospital staff is giving a professional goodbye to the actress. We will see Epiphany at the nurses' ball singing Selena's You're Not Alone Anymore. Hello there says, Laura was one step ahead of Esme. She tried to call her bluff just to see what she would do. I can't believe Laura's naive to think that Esme would not try to leave. I hope Kevin was included in the decision to keep her there, or else I am I have a feeling it won't be a pretty picture. Kevin is in on it. Laura would never have, look, let's be real. Kevin does everything Laura says. Really, seriously. Laura's in charge, Mrs. Mayor. But anyway, that's it for Comment Corner. Comment Corner. We will be back tomorrow for another daily recap of General Hospital.